Almost a year ago, I restarted my fitness journey. As a matter of fact, if you look at my YouTube channel, you'll see that the first and only video that I have posted is it's actually titled How I Went from the Best Shape of my life to the worst shape of my life. And basically it just talks about my story and how that happened and how I was going to take the steps to get back in the best shape of my life. So since then, it's been almost a year. And I'll be honest, from a scale perspective, the victories have been fluctuating. It's been like a little mini roller coaster. It's up and then it's down. It's up and it's down. However, today I want to talk about the non scale victories that I've experienced since I started this journey. I think by the end of the video, you will have a better idea of how to track your victories outside of the scale so that you can have long term health and experience longevity as opposed to the short term weight loss cycle that we tend to find ourselves in. So, on that note, let's get into it. I have a list. These are the things that I've noticed, um, which I would consider, from a health perspective, discipline, body awareness, even psychology behind the health. These are the things that I've noticed that, in my personal opinion, are key indicators of how I'm becoming a much healthier version of myself. So, the first thing I want to bring up that's on this list is I kept going. I didn't give up. This was a tough journey. This has been a tough year. Um, I have responsibilities. Although my daughter is older, or my child is older, I have other responsibilities. I have an aging parent, um, and other things. I work a full time job. I've created my life in a way that it's as convenient as possible for me to work out, but I still have other responsibilities. And I'll be honest, I'm not the best at planning and executive functioning, but we'll talk about that later. That's a totally other video for a total, it's a totally different video for a totally different day. But despite not seeing the results on the scale that I wanted or watching the scale go down and then back up and then back down again, I can honestly say that I kept strength training. I kept increasing my step count. I kept, even when I took days off, I mean, typically, if I was off for more than 10 days from the gym, or maybe even 7 days, I probably wasn't going back. Well, I think I tried to avoid taking more than 7 to 10 days off from going to the gym. So I really tried to make it a habit that stuck. Like, I want to be there. I want to move my body. I want to experience um, physical capabilities that I've lost. So, that being said, I didn't give up. I kept going. It's almost a year later. I'm still going to the gym. In fact, I have increased the amount of days and hours spent in the gym. So, that's number one. I didn't give up. Number two, as I got closer to the end of the year, my step count on a daily basis increased. Um, that was like I started increasing my step count in the beginning, but then it fell and it would go up and then it fall, just like my weight. But in this case, as I got like let's see, from August, actually more like June up until recently, um, even closer to basically June to December, my step count increased from like maybe 7 to 10,000 steps per day on average There were some really low count days, but I was able to keep pushing and being I was able to continue to be consistent at making the effort to keep my step count up. So that's number two. Oh, and I just want to add that including like with the step count, making sure that my step count went up, I also found some fun activities to keep my step count up. So going on hikes, that became a part of my weekly routine. At least one day a week, I went on a hike, which was just beautiful. I mean, absolutely amazing. Um, I wish I had started doing hikes way before now. So I'm like discovering, other ways to get up, get out, and enjoy myself and move all at the same time. I did morning walks either before or after breakfast, even some afternoon walks just to get up and move around. Since I work from home, this was a big deal. I sat all day, my back was hurting, and I was like, okay, this has to change. I had a standing desk. I finally put up my standing desk and had been sitting for months. And then I also was able to use my walking pad because of the standing desk. It's easier. You lift up the desk and you put the walking pad down. So these were just ways that I was able to help increase my step count from June to until December, going into the new year. All right. So number three, this is a really big one. And this might catch you off guard, but I went to therapy. I started therapy this year, and it has been a game changer. And why is therapy a game changer for someone who wants to lose weight? Well, um, as someone who has like struggled with weight, probably most of my life because of, I don't know, of another word to use other than indoctrination. Um, which is again another topic for another video. But um, I just know that my perception or my psychology behind my health, how I take care of myself, why I'm taking care of myself, why I'm just not just trying to lose weight, but I want to care for myself. Um, Therapy has really helped break down some of the ideas behind that and what was driving me to lose weight as opposed to care for myself. Because at the end of the day, if you care for yourself, in my personal opinion, you'll also lose weight. Like it's just going to happen. If you're taking care of yourself, you're nourishing yourself properly, you're moving your body's automatically going to give back what you're giving to it. So there's that. Um, So, yeah, therapy. It's been very helpful, and perhaps I'll talk more about that in another video, but for now, we'll stop there. Another key indicator that I am becoming healthier is something I had been wanting to do for a very long time that I had put off. I wanted to do this for my flexibility and my mobility, only to find out that this is also helpful for trauma, and that was signing up for yoga. So I have a 1 year yoga membership. This is something I've been wanting to do for a very long time, and I've put it off just because either it was financially not something that I could pay for, or maybe even just not knowing where to go, all of that. But I signed up for yoga, so I think that that's a beautiful thing. Very beautiful. Um, Number five, the fifth thing that I started to do that tells me that, this is a non scale victory and that I'm becoming healthier. And I did this before. I think I actually maybe even mentioned this in my YouTube video the first time around. I started journaling, and it's not just like the haphazard, oh, I'm going to journal today, not journal tomorrow, journal next week, don't journal this week, whatever. Um, I started journaling every morning. Every single morning, I started journaling. So anything related to my weight, my body, how I feel about myself, the negative self talk about weight loss, the negative self talk about how I feel about myself when I look in the mirror. I was able to process those thoughts on paper. And I think that is a very powerful thing. The number six, um, I started, and I think this is the last thing actually. I started to prioritize my needs. So that means going to bed at an earlier time on most nights. I do struggle with this sometimes, but most nights going to bed at an earlier time, telling people no. I cannot express how important it is or how much I've learned the importance of putting up boundaries. And it's like people aren't asking for things all the time or asking for your time or attention all the time. But sometimes, like when you really need it, the answer needs to be no. Or, you know, I tend to put off what's important to me to go take care of someone else. Then when I do that, I'm mad, I'm angry, and um, my needs have been put on the back burner and it has to be done another day. So definitely prioritizing my bedtime, my personal needs altogether, which includes bedtimes, um, my needs around my cycle syncing. That's another video for another day, but cycle syncing is so important. Didn't realize how important it was until I was yesterday years old, which is like basically like 42. Um, but and along with cycle syncing comes, making sure that you get enough rest. So yeah, these are the things that I've just learned that are helping me become healthier in spite of, not seeing the steady number on the scale where I want it to be. Um, and it's just been really enlightening for me. Um, so while while that's been enlightening, I still want to see the number on the scale go in the direction that I like to see it go in. And I realized that I was making my best efforts at times and it just wasn't happening. And I think I got to the point where I realized like I need to slow down. I need to trust the process. I need to trust myself. I need to trust my body. I need to be grateful for all that my body has brought me through. It's worked very hard in spite of my neglect, my poor decisions. It's still here. It's serving me in the best capacity that it can. And I have to honor that and I have to respect that. And so, all of that being said, um, I hope that you found this enlightening and helpful. Um, if you are making your best efforts and you might wonder why, although you're giving your all, um, you still might end up back at the same weight like I did, you're not alone. It happens, especially as you're entering perimenopause, your late 30s, early 40s. Me, I'm in my early 40s. So, over this last year, I've learned some really hard truths about what kept me on this hamster wheel. And I'm glad that between journaling, yoga, therapy, I've been able to process some of these things. I've been able to process and understand some of the behaviors that I exhibit that are sabotaging. And so in my next video, I want to talk about some of the setbacks that I've experienced as it relates to this set point on the scale and what I'm changing to keep moving in the right direction and keep making progress. So I hope you enjoyed this video. And my name is Glenisha. I am on a journey to become the healthiest version of myself from the inside out. Um, I don't want to just lose weight. I want to become the healthiest version of myself. So please hit like if you enjoyed this video and subscribe if you want to keep track of my journey. And maybe even if you just find these challenges that I'm discussing or the information that I share or the successes that I share relatable, subscribe and share and hit like. All right. Bye.